And we continue with football for an episode of Sports Scene's special series called Tackling China that follows the lives of foreign players here in the PRC. And in today's installment, we've got Beijing Guoan striker Burak Yilmaz. Now, the Turkish international was very successful over 4 seasons with Galatasaray, scoring 82 goals in 141 appearances. Yilmaz won the Turkish Super League Cup twice and was the league's top scorer once while winning the Turkish Cup on 4 occasions. In February 2016, Galatasaray announced that Yilmaz was joining Chinese Super League club Beijing Guoan for €8 million. Yilmaz scored 11 goals in 17 appearances in his debut season as the capital club finished 5th. The 31-year-old has also played for the Turkish national team since 2006 and has tallied 22 goals in 48 games. And Mike Fox was able to catch up with the man himself here in Beijing.
Beijing Guoan are one of the marquee clubs in the CSL. This year, however, hasn't been so good. But Burak Yilmaz's arrival in the Chinese capital has been one of the positives and provided hope for both him and the team after a long career in Turkey.
Ama artık ayrılma vaktim gelmişti. Ayrılma vaktim geldiğini düşünüyorum.
I had a very successful time at Galatasaray. I was the best striker in the league. But I felt like it was time for me to leave. When I decided to leave, I had a choice between England and Italy, but at the final moment before I had to make my decision, China gave me an offer that I couldn't refuse, that would help my family in the future. It wasn't an easy decision, but I don't regret it. I believe football is an international language that we all speak, and I was confident I could duplicate my success in Turkey to here in China.
The Turk has also been on the international scene for over 10 years, and his essential inclusion in his country's Euro squad, added with injury, has limited the 31-year-old to just 16 appearances.
Şimdi bu seneyle alakalı konuşmak gerekirse
This year we had a bit of an unlucky season. I got injured and then we had a lot of players away on international duty. Renato Augusto competed at the Rio Olympics and I was at the Euros. We are thinking big for next season because everyone at the club, players and fans, have extremely high expectations. We want to qualify for the Champions League at least, but personally I want to score and play a lot more.
Since the huge investment in foreign talent from the league's clubs, reports have surfaced of clashes in dressing rooms between Chinese and the imported players. There's been some reports from Shanghai SIPG that the Chinese players and the foreign players aren't mixing well. What is it like when you mix foreign talent with Chinese talent? Do you have a good relationship with the Chinese players?
Yabancı ve Çinli oyuncular bir kere
Chinese players can really help foreigners to know a lot more about Chinese football and the culture that comes with it. That includes helping them adjust. On the other hand, us foreigners can share our experiences. Again, I don't mean teaching them how to play, but it's a two-way learning street in terms of culture. As for SIPG, I don't know their club or their players, so I can't comment on their situation. But here in Beijing, players from all over the world have excellent relationships. I would say it's better than what you in the press think. There's absolutely no issue.
A seasoned pro, he has turned out for the Big Four in the Turkish Super League. The fans of those clubs have a certain reputation, which isn't far away from what he has experienced in China. The Guoan fans that you're talking about have a reputation in China for being, like you've said, one of the most loyal fan bases in the country. A bit like the Turkish fans. The Guoan fans remind you of the Turkish fans in any way?
Evet. Kesinlikle.
Since the first match, I have felt the Beijing fans always have our back. They stand for us in the face of adversity and are very loyal.
As a football fan of many years myself, I remember when the Turkish teams hosted English teams, and at Galatasaray there was that big banner outside the stadium that said, "Welcome to hell." You remember? Did it ever get too hostile?
Ya bunu
I wouldn't use the word hostile. I use the word competitive. It's like Manchester United in competition with Chelsea. It's the same thing with how they are against Galatasaray. This is football, and it is part of the match. English teams always find it hard to win in Istanbul, but it's hard to get 3 points away against any of the big four. The competition is fierce.
We'll finish with a question about what's going to come of you in China. You seem to be enjoying your time at Go On. Realistically, what's achievable while you're in China?
My biggest goal is to get that CSL title. Go On haven't been close to the title for a long time, and we have only managed to win it once. As a striker, scoring is obviously important, and my record has been good this season considering I haven't played that much. So next season, I hope to have a 100% return and lead Go On to the CSL title, and then maybe the Champions League.
Burak, Yilmaz, teşekkürler.